Well, whether it's good or bad, or on the red carpet, or on social media, something is always buzzing in the world of entertainment.
It certainly is. And here to break down this week's trending topics, entertainment host and lifestyle expert Josh McBride. Josh, we always love when you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, lots of stuff going on.
Lots to talk about. Let's start with Wendy Williams. We know the 54-year-old host has been very outspoken about her personal life and her struggles, but today she revealed to her viewers on the Wendy Williams show some new truth about her struggle with drug addiction. Take a listen.
I have been living in a sober house. And you know, I've had a struggle with cocaine in my past, and I never went to a place to get the treatment. I don't know how, except God was sitting on my shoulder and I just stopped. But there are people in your family, it might be you, who've been struggling, and I wanted to know more of the story. So this is my autobiographical story, and I'm living it, and I'm telling you this.
She was very emotional. She went on to say no one outside of her husband, not even her parents, knew about her living situation. So Josh, what do you make of this announcement?
Yeah, Wendy has been extremely candid about her addiction problems in the past. And of course, even just last week, I believe it was last week, launching her hotline from the Hunter Foundation that has done so much great work already. You heard it there, and you've probably heard it before. I think they put 56 people, she said, in housing from this hotline already. So now I think it's a moment of her being sensitive and kind of being vulnerable, and that Wendy that we all know and love, to say, hey, I've had a problem too, and here's how I'm fixing it. She did say her family does not, most of her extended family doesn't know that both her Kevins know, her son and her husband know. And again, this is her showing bravery. This is her being candid about her story. I've had the opportunity to work with Wendy for the last 2.5 years, and it's been nothing but support, love, so much graciousness over at the show. They've just got a great team over there, and her and Kevin are just really wonderful to work for.
So you weren't very surprised by this announcement and how candid she was?
I appreciated it. I appreciated how the bravery that she had to come out with this type of an announcement. I appreciated that she was so vulnerable. That takes a lot to say.
It does,
hey,
yeah. On national TV.
Yeah, and now, you know, there's a lot of reports out there tracking her and following her. And she doesn't need that. That's exactly what she doesn't want. You know, you heard right there that they don't necessarily care who Wendy is. It's a support group. You know, she's in bed by 10 and she goes to the show, does her job, does kind of, you know, these rehab things and goes back in. They don't care that she's Wendy. This is about supportive brothers and sisters that are next to her going through the same thing.
Helping her to stay clean.
Yeah, even in that announcement, she said, people either think I'm the craziest person in the world or the bravest woman, being able to just openly share that. And I think with everything she's been going through, her, 2-3 months long hiatus from the show, I think people have been searching for some truth from Wendy, and I think this will only endear her with her audience even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's been very vulnerable and candid about her having Graves' disease as well, and breaking her collarbone.
Right.
So this seems just like a series of unfortunate events as well.
Totally.
You know, but I think that now we've really seen the vulnerable Wendy that we've all been looking for.
Right.
And I appreciated it. I watched it almost in tears. And I know friends that go on the show, friends of the show, people at the show, I've heard from, and everyone is super supportive. And I think this is a great thing. I think this is, I hope that young people, older people can look at this and say, I'm going through the same thing.
Or know someone who is.
Yeah, and they can say, well, so is somebody else, and we can look up to that person.
Yeah, like she said, this is her living testimony. So hopefully folks who are maybe struggling or know someone who's struggling will take advantage of that newly launched hotline for the Hunter Foundation. Meanwhile, Josh, switching gears up just a bit, another story that has been utterly just taking over the headlines. We're all transfixed about this huge college admissions scandal rocking Hollywood and really the world. More than 50 high-profile people, including actresses Lori Loughlin, Felicity Huffman, charged with bribing schools to get their kids in. We've been hearing from celebrities, also people just weighing in on social media of the like, and a lot of it has been negative. We heard from Julia Roberts today, who is one of many chiming in on this conversation. She says the situation made her sad because, quote, from an outsider, it says, I don't have enough faith in you. What do you think about that?
And I feel like Julia Roberts really doesn't comment on what's going on in the pop world or gossip or tabloid. So this probably took a lot for her to even say.
Yeah, I think this is hard to hear also from a parent, from a person that is looking like, it's basically telling your kid that you don't have enough faith in them as well. So this is still on the parent. I again think that Bethany Frankel said it best, and we might have some tweets of hers as well. I'm not sure what we do have, but she did go to Twitter, I believe, and said, but wait, how do the kids not know? We know that Lori Loughlin allegedly was involved in putting her kids within the crew, signing them up for crew and saying that they were coming for crew on a scholarship. Bethany Frankel tweeted saying, but wait, how did the kids not know they gotten on a crew scholarship? If you ask your kid to stand in front of a crew boat, aren't they curious? I'm just confused all around. These kids know. If a kid isn't smart enough to know that their leg isn't broken or they don't take crew or that it's not their bar mitzvah that day, they should be applying to Bubblegum University. Rich parents further protecting the kids. This is hard. This is hard to read and watch. And I have to say, like, I am the biggest Full House fan that there is. I know all the lines. Like, this was hard to hear because this is about the kids. This isn't about the parents. This is about a lifestyle, perhaps. This is about getting them into somewhere prestigious, like so that they could be raised in this way. It's upsetting to me because what's wrong with any school? I mean, college is great, period.
Right.
Even if you don't go to college, that's still great. You know, like if you're doing something, that's great. You know, so this was bothersome to me, especially being a longtime fan of Full House and Lori herself. But I will say though that. There were a lot of other celebrities besides Julia Roberts that have come out. Lena Dunham went and said all the people involved in this college scam should have gathered their money and started a small elite college where Lori Loughlin teaches a class on smiling. Katie Couric also told Us Weekly saying it's an opportunity to reevaluate the whole system. And I love what Katie said about that.
That is the truth because, I mean, people have known that to some extent this has been going on, you know, whether it's been done quote unquote legally, but really not legally in terms of paying your way into these universities. But like you said, it really is about the kids. And in some instances, a child could be sitting down taking their SATs while a proctor is somewhere actually taking their test that will be submitted. So in that case, they don't know. They think they're taking their test that will be used to judge them getting into that university. So, and now they're learning, okay, my parents maybe didn't think I had the chops or I was enough to get in. So it's
unfortunate, and it reminds me of, like, my parents always said, do your best. I wonder what these parents are saying to their kids. It's still do your best, but we got you if you don't do your best type of thing, or we'll cover for you if you don't do your best.
Well, and what's frustrating is those students out there that really are doing their best can't get these spots because, you know, some child who may have a prestigious background is getting into these Tier 1 schools.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate, and again, it's that space that a lot of people are hoping for. That's that 1 or 2 spaces that they're giving to those kids who work really hard, who do well in athletics, who are involved in
extracurricular activities,
student government, you know, clubs, all that kind of stuff. And that's unfortunate because these are taking those available opportunity spaces from these other kids.
Right. And
the
fallout is going to be extensive.
Right. And Josh, you know this. Olivia Jade, before this broke, she actually went on YouTube and said, I don't even want to be here. My mother made me come. So that has to be aggravating for students who actually wanted to be in her spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you guys have reported on it. She actually lost a couple of her sponsorships already from her YouTube and social media channel. Sephora just backed out from working with a few of them. So, you know, we are seeing repercussions. And again, it bothers me because I feel bad about the kid. This isn't the kid's fault. Although there is a part of me that agrees with Bethany Frankel in that, you know, like, but again, it's your parent. We all listen to our parents, right? Growing up, most of us did. I did.
Yeah, I did.
You know, if I didn't, I was going to, we don't want to talk about what I got. But we all had to listen to our parents.
Right.
And so at what point do you turn to your mom and say, no.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And they're young. Wait, Olivia Jade is 19?
I believe so.
She's very young. I mean, you are listening to your mother. She tells you to go and hold an oar. She does.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
Yeah. Side note here, Josh, since we have you, you said you're a lifelong Full House fan.
Oh, yeah.
For fans who are, you know, dedicated to the show, if they do have to somehow end the franchise, obviously there's news that she will not be a part of the show, Loughlin, anymore. Do you think the show will survive without her, or do you think? What do you think the repercussions will be if they actually pull Full House from Netflix?
So Fuller House is on Netflix.
Fuller House, there we go.
Full House is in reruns.
Correct.
Fuller House was actually already told that they have one more season left, and then they're
and then it's done.
it.
Okay.
So they were already given that. Sort of allowed time of they're doing one more full season and then they're done to begin with. The question really now is, are stations like Nickelodeon going to continue playing those reruns of Full House because Lori is involved in them? And it's kind of, does it make a big deal? Is it not a big deal? Is she just a character on there? I guess we'll have to see, but also that's the question, right? Is it going to bother you seeing Lori Loughlin on Nickelodeon late at night, watching Nick at Night on Full House?
She's also was a staple on the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
which she's no longer going to
right.
be, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your insights. A lot to cover. It's already been an active week, and it's just Tuesday. Yeah. Entertainment and lifestyle expert Josh McBride. Thank you once again, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.